Good morning, race fans, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park, and today at the races presented by Fidelity First. I'm Tim Tellick, filling in for Stan Salter, who's down the road at Rosecroft Raceway for their big day, their Preakness Day, Potomac Pace tonight, later on this evening, and he has his hands full with that. Joined by Keith Fustel.
How you doing,
and
Tim?
Keith, I'm reckoning.
Yeah.
It's been a strange couple days.
Right.
No
doubt.
No doubt about that. But I'm reckoning that Ty Liapostina might be your jockey of yesterday with that big win on last Chucker.
How about that?
How about that?
I tell you, Rodolfo Sanchez Solomon, you just cannot let that trainer get away at that kind of a price. I thought the horse, was a little bit of a reach, but that race was wide open. Percentages were in your favor. Yes, you got the horse in great position. A little precarious there coming to the eighth pole. The horse was laying in a little bit. Thought it was going to clip heels. And luckily it didn't. It was able to get down to the inside, kind of took her to the inside, and she was able to kind of roll on through and get the job done at a big, big price. It just goes to show you sometimes, you get these trainers that are on rolls. You when you see them up on the board 15, 18 to 1, just throw a couple bucks down on the horse.
And I always say that. Rudy, Claudio Gonzalez, guys like that, if they're on a roll, Mark Reed sometimes, just throw those horses in because even if they don't look perfect in the race, and I didn't have last Chucker. You had him. I
had the horse on top, and the horse looked great on the racetrack too, and that just cemented it for me. Once I saw the horse come out on the track, was bouncing, looking really, really good in the flesh. I said, hey, we got to take a shot.
There you go. And Jaffazo picks up 2 in a row in that nice 2 other than allowance race yesterday. And how about that race? That's a route race, 2 other than 11 horse field. Racing Office doing a great job.
Yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, consistently, we've seen these bigger fields. They're wide open. A lot of them are tough. I mean, we've seen the transition. We've talked about it. We're end of turf season. You still got some turf horses lingering around trying to get another race, see if they can sneak back, get some old dirt form. But yeah, they've done a phenomenal job with these cards. And I tell you, yesterday, the one thing I did notice, I know Jaffazo rallied wide. We had a couple horses make moves to the outside late, but inside, especially around the turn, even the stretch, that was kind of the place to be yesterday. So mark that day down. I don't know how things are going to play today. I'm going to use that angle a little bit and go starting the day, hoping that trend continues. But we don't really usually have long sustained biases over this Laurel Park dirt surface.
No, we certainly don't.
No.
With the change, and especially now as we get to winter, there's going to be some changes in the surface, probably some surface added as we get closer to the colder weather and whatnot. So certainly you're absolutely right about that. We don't have a long time where you get that kind of bias for sure. I mean, typically, if a speed horse is a true speed horse, they'll go all the way.
Sure.
But this track, you're not a true speed horse. This track certainly doesn't carry you.
Yeah.
Where sometimes a Delaware Park and a Monmouth will carry you. This one won't. This one won't.
Definitely a little bit more fair than some of the other ones we kind of see in our surrounding areas.
For sure. No doubt about that. Anyway, look, big day tomorrow. We race tomorrow on Veterans Day. Veterans Day live racing, first race post 12:25. So if you have the day off, come on out and join us. You won't have much more to do than that. All the Veterans Day parades are this morning. So come on out and join us tomorrow for Veterans Day. We have a little bit of a carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6, about $525 carryover. But look, you got to start somewhere. And I think this Pick 6 is hittable today.
Yeah.
I think there's some straightforward horses.
It looks to be that way. I don't have that kind of a bomb 10, 12 to 1 morning line horse that I really kind of like today. So not saying there's not going to be some prices, but I think it's a little bit of an easier card maybe to work through, especially if you want to narrow down some tickets, to keep that price within your range.
I agree with that. Absolutely, for sure. We've got a big carryover in the first race today, Super High 5. Today. First race, just over $4,000. That'll be available in the first race in the Super High 5. Again, a carryover of just over $4,000. And how about this big carryover in the Stronach 5 coming this next Friday, November 15th?
Yeah. What are we drawing for Thursday today, right?
Yes.
So tomorrow for Friday, you'll have plenty of time to get the PPs, study up especially the Laurel races, and take a shot. $91,000 to start. I think it was around $400,000 last time we had this situation. So somebody could be a life changer. What a perfect time, right ready for the holidays. Who wouldn't like to sneak away with about $500,000?
Absolutely. You would want to sneak all the way with that. And I think you're right. It was just over $400,000 last time we had this type of carryover. Last week's The Stronach 5, no doubt about it, tricky. Opened up with a 14-horse field. Yeah. It was a tough one to get through, but we come back here next Friday here at Laurel Park with the Stronach 5 with that big carryover. Also, we have the NFL Sunday Ticket, Keith.
Yes. Get ready. You got each and every game upstairs. You go up to the sports book and really kind of look at the couches. You can just kind of sink in there and, just have at it. Watch your racing, watch your football. You get a great combination. And we've also got the football pick'em contest each and every weekend. So you got to try to get those picks in before kickoff today, 1 o'clock kickoff, I guess. $3,000 if you're the lone winner.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And like Stan says, it's 75 feet of LED TVs. And I say less than a first down to the bar from those comfortable couches.
A
little chip shot from the couches to the bar to the TV. All the horse racing, all the football you can want here this afternoon at Laurel Park. The weather outside, well, it's pretty nice at the end of the day. Temperature is rising from this morning. Started out a little chilly this morning. The track is fast, no turf, obviously, but about mid-50s through the day and mostly sunny. You can't beat that. Horses love this type of weather. They excel in this type of weather. They're moderate weather animals. They like it. They're kind of like Goldilocks in her porridge. They like it just right. Not too cold, not too hot. Mid-50s. Is perfect for that type of racing.
All right.
For sure. Well, let's get this party started. Race 1 kicks off the day here. It's a maiden 3-year-old event going a mile. 1-turn mile. And, Keith, you've got the 4 on top, Stucco for Dale Capuano.
I do, and a little bit of a guess. Just put these, line them up and throw a dart at this race. I thought it was awfully difficult. Going back about the track yesterday, a little bit of speed favoring, a little bit inside for the most part. Stucco turf to dirt, second out. Now, this hasn't been a great angle for Dale with his maiden claimers of recent note. But second start, though, is good. The Capuano brothers, Dale and Gary, their horses run well second time out of the box. I think position speeding, they're bred to handle the dirt. The siblings, they went on the turf, the dirt, and the synthetic. Very versatile in the breeding there for the 4 Stucco. Just a tepid top selection.
And a reminder, this does start out the early pick super high 5 with that big carryover, $4,000, and the early pick 5 mandatory payout, low 12% takeout. Yeah, look, Stucco didn't run a bad race first time out on the turf. Going long, it was kind of an even effort where he ends up getting beat 6 lengths in the end after laying pretty close and just getting a little late in that race. I've got the 2 Mike the Tiger on top for Bill Comlo. Second off the layoff, a decent return with trouble. His issue is the break.
Yeah.
He's just up and down. He doesn't get away well. He didn't get away well in his last start, and it cost him a little bit. But I think with a good break this time, under force, it could make the difference. Yeah,
he doesn't have a lot of speed, and he especially needs a better break because he doesn't want to find himself way, way back to try to make that sustained run. And Stucco, going back to him real quick, Aladdin Satan, the horse out of that race, ran okay on the dirt yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. He saved ground, eased out, made a little bit of a run to final 16th when he finally got over to his correct lead. 4:10.62 to get you started, and I think a wide open race. Coffee Please just comes out of faster races. I think the drop-in class is certainly going to enhance his chances. We'll be able to draft over, save some ground before making a run.
I think the 5, a little bit Martin, taking a pretty big drop, second off a layoff, getting back to the main track. By Lemon Drop Kid, out of a concerned mare. I mean, at this level, the dirt shouldn't be an issue for the 5 Martin. 4:10.62 for Keith, 2:4.5:10 for myself as we move on to race 2, and this kicks off the early pick 4. And Keith, you have a ticket, and let's see how you played the early pick 4 this afternoon.
It's not terribly expensive, $12. We can afford this, and we're going to kind of lay it on the line. We're going to know early how we're going to do. We're going to single. Always talking in leg 1 of this early pick 4. Spread it out a little bit more in race number 3 with the 2, 4, 5, and 8. 4th race, the 1 and the 5. 5th race, we go 3 deep with the 2, 4, and 8. I like too much minutia on the stretch out today. We've got a stat for that one a little bit later. But, yeah, race 2, claiming 12-5. These are 2-year-old fillies. They're kind of all working their way down towards the bottom. I think always talking out of that open 25 race, went very quick early, outran some other pretty good speeds. I don't think there's anybody as fast as her early Yeah, she got labored a little bit late, but she can labor again here. But this drop, she could hang on for dear life and get it done for Jerry Robb.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's second off a little bit of a layoff. A layoff with Jerry Robb is very good at 30%. Second off, this type of layoff ran a lifetime best in her last race, and I agree with you. I think this is a good, safe single here with always talking on your early pick 4, my top pick also. The 2, we both have the 2 right there in our exacta for Anthony Ferry, who's a pretty girl. Another one taking a drop from the 25 down to this 12.5.
Yeah, I just think it comes out maybe a little bit better dirt races, the 2 and the 3. They, all he thoughts is in that landing zone, they're okay. I mean, and nobody else with really any solid established dirt form. Nobody's really run extremely fast. Steady Love, who I left off my ticket, I go back and look at her. I think she could be one of the ones that could benefit if a duel does develop. She could rally into it. And the 2 for 10, the 6, I'm going to throw in for Pecoraro. I took play. First time Lasix last time. I think second Lasix is a big number for this guy, big percentage. So 2 for 10, I think you're going to see drastically improved from last time out.
Yeah, going back to the 8, Steady Love. This is a horse that I was back and forth whether I was going to use or not. I ended up not landing on her, but she's running 2 consecutive stakes. She did break her maiden for maiden 25. Now she's in for the 12.5.
Yeah.
Generally, you're worth about half of what you break your maiden for.
Right.
And this could be a very, very good spot for Steady Love. 3-2-6-7 for Keith. 3-2. 5-6 for myself in race 2, a 2-year-old filly race. And, these 2-year-old fillies, Stan and I have talked about it before, they're dropping from 25 to 12. This time of year, I don't know if there's any real significance.
It's not a huge difference.
They've got no real form to go on, and I don't think the races change much. No. So we'll see. They're all dropping from the 25. It's basically the same race, just the numbers different.
Once they get out of that 40 range, they
Once
get to
they
25. They all seem to work their way down. Nobody seems to work their way back. Not many up from that level.
I agree with that. So pretty much the same race. So take the drop with a little bit of a grain of salt, no doubt about it. Race 3, $10,000 claiming event for fillies and mares having won 3 or straight 3-year-olds. We've got a video spotlight on your top pick here, Keith, the 2, Swirly Shirley.
Yeah, I might have gone a little strong on the line here. I think favoritism is going to be between the 2 and the 5. Watched Swirly Shirley last time out as the favorite, about 6-5. Broke a little slow this afternoon. You're going to see that number 2 in the black silks there. I tell you, but Swirly Shirley easily recovered and is going to kind of just pull her way up to the front and go on with it. Goes clear, establishes an easy lead. Pretty good internals, and just kind of under wraps here through the final 3/16 of a mile. Very confidently handled by Ore Ruiz and Ruiz, Salzman.
Wow.
Okay, they've been hitting ROIs awfully strong here. Yeah, the last couple of days. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Once again, the tactics are going to be, let's go to the front. I want to see a little bit better break because Fanny Bell Fleming does have a little positional speed, might put a little bit more pressure on her. The raise back up, a 5-time winner taking advantage of this condition.
Right, and she's stretching out to the mile today. Swirly Shirley is, but don't worry about it. She's 3 for 6 with a second and third. The mile distance isn't an issue for her at all. Speaking of my top pick, the Ravenel, the 4. Look, this one won while dropping this level in her last start. A pretty good looking effort under Fergal Lynch. A couple work since. 7-2 on the line. I kind of like Ravenel a little bit in this spot here today. I showed a little speed going a mile 16, turns back to the mile.
Yeah, $75,000 purchase. She's kind of worked her way down. Really hasn't, performed as well as they thought probably on the turf. Thought maybe she was going to be a little better turf horse, but she got to the dirt, beat Lulu's on the Move, who was a next out winner with an okay mid-50 kind of number. Ortanola came back to win. I think maybe was that a little bit of a drop? It might have been on a raise, Ortanola, but anyhow, Ravenel does not have the speed as the 2 or the 5, but she's going to be able to draft into position in this shorter field and make her run into it, as well as my second selection, Nana Shoes. I think holds a little bit of price value on the go back. She was able to beat and run down Swirly Shirley. See if she can do it again.
Well, that's exactly what I have on the 8 Nana Shoes. She's got some decent dirt races against tougher.
Yeah,
it's on the way back, no doubt about that. But certainly the dirt is something that she can handle a little bit. And the 5, Fanny Bell Fleming, look, you're right. I mean, here's a filly who was pretty good over the slop last time, but she's got some good races on the main track also. on her form. So she's certainly logical in today's third race here at Laurel Park. We're going to take a little break, a little commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll talk a little Rainbow Pick 6.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. There's their cup. They're here with us every day, and we enjoy having them absolutely for sure. Race 4 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. A little bit of a carryover, $525, but better than a zero there. So
right.
We'll start there. I have a Pick 6 ticket, a pretty affordable $54 ticket. I go 3 deep here in the fourth, the fifth, 3 deep there, 2, 4, 10. 2, 6, 7 in the sixth. My single comes in the eighth, and that's the one, Sassy King for Anthony Ferrier. Alex Cintron, the red-hot Alex Cintron, I might add, gets the call. This horse, a little overplaced in his last start, gets back to the right level today, no doubt about it. And then in race 9, Spread City for me, 3, 6, 9, 10, 12. The 12 does draw in race 9, so make note of that. $54 ticket on the Rainbow Pick 6. Good luck if you carry on, if you play in the Rainbow Pick 6. Race 4, fillies and mares 3 and up, which never won 3, or straight 3-year-old fillies. And Keith, you've got the one, Lady Kim, on top for Jerry Robb. First off the claim. Pretty good first off the claim, about 22%.
Yeah, you've got Rob here, and the exact is what I'm going to try. I think Lady Kim's going to be a little bit better priced than Mighty Talk. We'll see. Mighty Talk kind of a glaring number, the 61 last time. Now, that was on a sloppy sealed surface, but Lady Kim got the better of Mighty Talk a couple races back, beat us out of a ton of money on October the 3rd, but I think she sits the trip. I think she can make it 3 straight. Yeah, the numbers aren't that great, 49s and high 40s. I think she just sits a perfect trip. She's got positional speed. Sits up inside. Mighty Talk might have a little bit of company, but we've got video of our last race. What I liked is the way she was kind of able to get back to that rating gear, was able to sit back off the pace and make a move into it. That was a bigger field, a field of 12 this afternoon. You'll see the 4 show the speed, and she just says, okay, we're going to go ahead and let those leaders go on with it. Barb's great line at 40-1, 50-1 Fancy Outflanker, who, man, really helped your exacta that day. But, very relaxed sleeping the 3-ace pole. X-Man really gets along well with this 3-year-old filly. Yeah, she's got 3 wins to her credit, taking advantage of this condition, as is Lady Kim, and even Call Me Jelly Roll shifts to the outside, and here she comes. Mighty Talk showing a little bit of improved stamina. This was on the drop, but this is a lateral move today, Tim, and gets command at the 8th pole and is going to be able to go clear, widening by 3 1/4. So one of the Jerry Robbs for me in race number 4 to get the job done.
I agree with that, and I like Mighty Talk, and I love that ride where a rider recognizes, look, I don't need to be up here messing with these guys. Let's just sit back here a little bit. Happened the other day with a little bit with Minute to Stardom. Where Alex said, you know what, boys, go on. I'm just going to, you just go ahead, have some little bit of fun. I'll see you at about the 3/16 pole, and I'll wave goodbye. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. But look, I like Mighty Talk here. My price play today comes 4-1 on the line is a 10. Call Me Jelly Roll. Winner 4 of her last 7. The only 5-time winner in the race. One more races than everybody, taking advantage of that dual condition, being a 3-year-old. Work since that last race. She's dropping a little bit from her last start, where she got beat 7 lengths. But if you look between April 6th and August 18th, this one won 3 or 4 races, 4 or 5 races, ran good numbers in good form. A little bit of class relief today. Good work sense for Linda Albert, Kevin Gomez.
Yeah, you see kind of the key horse. Allison Kay's been a victim of some of these fillies, and that's what you've got. Really, I mean, when you're breaking it down, tough to separate. It was hard for me to separate on the line, the 1, the 5, and the 10. So in a bigger field like that, it's going to help your prices a little bit. Those 3, I don't think anybody should be less than maybe 5-2, 2-1. I wouldn't take 2-1 on anybody in here. But Call Me Jelly Roll lost all chance when breaking a little slow. Look at those internals: 22-2, 45-1. No, these fillies aren't going to go that fast in this race. And all things being equal. She didn't run too bad, kind of even after she rushed up into getting in that chasing position.
Absolutely. So there you have it. Keith, 1-5-8-10. My price play of the day, 10-1. 5-11, the 11 of Marie for Paris on the outside. Just a couple good races on the main track on the way back, the go back, wherever you're talking to. But there you have it in race 4. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5. No carryover. They hit it yesterday, but always that low 12% takeout in the late pick 5, and that gets started here in race 5. A starter allowance for fillies and mares, which haven't won 2 races or claiming price $25,000. And Keith, both you and I have the too much minutia. Now that wasn't my top pick. The 3 is scratched out of here for Michael Matz. That was my original top pick, but the 2 clearly was my second pick in my exacta, but it gets promoted to my top pick here. And we have a little stat on Jamie Ness and too much minutia here in the 5th.
How about the last 3 years on the dirt? 5 for 11, 45%, and 8 for 11 in the money with 3-year-olds, just straight 3-year-olds. First time routing, ROI of 247. Yeah, the price is going to come down as your morning line favorite. Bouillon, the 3 horses scratched. I think originally I might have had the 8-horse line a little too high as it was with Claudia Gonzalez, but too much minutia out of a pretty quick race, and held pretty well. You look at the comment, the short comment, kept trying, and I've started to use that a little bit more recently. A lot of guys, they'll look at the running lines, they'll say, oh, that horse is backing up, he's tired. He might have gave up 2 lengths in the final 1/8 of a mile 3. Go back and watch the video. They're giving effort. They're not really rigging. The other horse is just a little bit better. So coming back to this spot, I think we'll take advantage of the inside and the speed. The way the track was playing yesterday, I'm hoping it kind of stays like that is the case for the 2. But there is some other speed. She's going to have to shake clear. I don't want her getting caught in a duel. Maybe the 4 Twirling Liz will apply some pressure. She's fresh. Her 2-back race. Now, granted, that was back at the fairgrounds in March of 19. That was a triple key race. Would have liked to see these horses come back and do a little bit better. Numbers were just okay, but I fear this horse. And I fear it might be a gift. The 8 for Claudio. This horse is ramped up into better form. Stamina has gone up. This is first time dirt in Claudio's barn. I think this is the one. If somebody's going to make a move from off of it and make that loop and swoop kind of a move, this is the one.
Right. We're going back to too much minutia stretching out, but Jamie's very good on the stretch out. And going to what you were talking about with that comment, I can't remember which horse it was, but I noticed that comment where horse ran 3rd or 4th, but kind of got a game comment, kept digging in. I think it's later on the card here today, and that's certainly beneficial to people who are handicapping the horses. And just don't toss a horse because it says weakened or gave way. Some of these horses most of them are trying all the way down to the wire. Some of them just aren't quite fast enough, but I like too much minutia there. Twirling Liz, look, first off, a long layoff. It's got some good works coming in. The 4 Twirling Liz. I guess the 8 Mia Giff, I didn't use her. I was back and forth of putting her on the bottom of my ticket. But you bring out a good point. When I'm looking at her dirt races, they were with somebody else.
Yes.
And that's a big difference. I didn't take that into consideration when I handicapped this race. Now this is one with Claudio, turf to dirt. He's very good at about 29%. So take that in consideration when you're doing your late pick 5, 2, 8, 4, 10 for Keith, 2, 4, 10, 8 for myself in today's 5th race. We'll move on to the 6th race now. This is a first level allowance condition for 2-year-olds. We've got a video on the 6 Stone Courageous. This is your second pick. On both of us have the 6 in the exacta, but we're going to start here with the 6 Stone Courageous.
Yeah, it's just sad, and they're stalking the pace of So Street very quick, but Stone Courageous is going to be able to make a move up towards the inside. Now, that was with first-time blinkers, and watch him in the red cap. Just has to hesitate a little bit. Wants to get that seam. Not quite. It didn't really open up. Shifts out, and look at the effort through the final 1/8 of a mile. Back on the left lead, wants to switch it back over, but Our Nation on Parade just too good that afternoon. Stone Courageous, big improvement with the blinkers on. You see the number up to a 76. Awfully strong. Would have liked to see him get off of that left lead, but a good effort all the way through.
Well, nobody was beating Our Nation on Parade that day. Nobody. Didn't matter who was running behind it. But look, that was a big improvement, and I guess you just have to say the blinkers did it, because that's a number that I sat there and went, wow, that might be a little a little misleading. He may have gotten dragged to a little bit of that big a number, 76,
Yes,
because Our Nation on Parade ran such a big race that day, no doubt about it. But I like him. He's in my exacta. You have the 7, however, on top, Rookie Salsa, and look out. This could be very, very scary here with Jerry O'Dwyer.
Yeah, this is a horse they thought had a ton of talent, got the job done in a gritty debut over this racetrack. Then we go to Churchill. Then we go to Belmont, back to Churchill, facing the heavy heads. Okay, finally got a little bit of a break from June to October. Tried the turf, stumbled, and get all kinds of trouble, just toss it. Now we're going to retool things a little bit. We're going to go through the blinkers on. We're going to go LASIX on. A couple little changes with a horse that showed a lot of talent in its first couple races. Stakes winner, won the Kentucky Juvenile. I think Rookie Salsa gets a perfect stalking kind of trip. It might sneak away at a little bit of a price because of that gaudy number for Stone Courageous last time, and even Tommy Shelby. The consistency that he has shown of late.
And no doubt, Rookie Salsa showed some talent earlier, making some adjustments, and you're getting a couple works, and you're getting Sheldon Russell for the first time. And Sheldon Russell and Jeremiah O'Dwyer, well, they've been a little red hot lately, about 26%. I've got the 2, Tommy Shelby on top, make the rider Javion Toledo. And this is just I picked this horse on top first time out for Henry Walters. And this is a horse who's just never run a bad race. He's got good numbers. He's got a sharp work. Look at that work November 5th. Tune him up a little bit. 35-4 up there at Pimlico. I just like his honesty at the end of the day.
Yeah, and he looks kind of, this is who he is. Can he just maintain this kind of form? Is he going to go on to maybe bigger or brighter? I don't know, but I mean, he certainly could be a useful gelding down the road with these kind of figures. He's going to move up, I'm sure, when he gets to 3. But a good effort. Once again, sandwiched in between horses for a while. Maybe got a little frazzled, didn't bring that normal kick. I think he's going to bounce back, and he's going to be around it, no doubt, when they get through the final eighth of a mile. Rookie Salsa, I might still have lined a little too high at 5. I'll take 3. I'll take 3 on this.
I think you'll get 3.
I hope he doesn't sneak under
Tommy
that.
Shelby's going to take his share of money. Stone Courage is going to take his share of money. The 3 perfect score, first time over the Laurel Main. We've got a big, strong track on the main, a good, big, strong race on the main track at Thistledown while breaking his maiden. So I think there's a little bit to be considered there. But there you have it, race 6.
All right.
7, 6, 2, 5 for Keith, 2, 6, 3. 7 for myself as we move on to race 7, a first level allowance race, and you have the 4 on top. Dat Dares Gold. I don't blame you here. I like Dat Dares Gold a little bit. At the bottom of my ticket, we have a video spotlight on Dat Dares Gold, and you can pick it up from here, Keith.
Yeah, October the 14th, race 9 at Laurel, a starter allowance race right there. Had the head turned ever so slightly right before the gate started, and then had to steady. So you've got that combination working. A little bit answer. You saw that head turn to the left, and then coming out, try to get position, and boom, just sandwich, pitch back in the opening, probably about 40 yards. And I tell you, good job of the right. Was able to kind of drop down to the inside. We're going to pick this up 3/8 pole to the wire. A duel kind of has developed. You have polarization out there at 1,000,000-1. Reigns supreme at 7-5 tries to come through inside. And here we go. Caught behind a wall of horses, has to steady again. This horse is just full of run this afternoon for Valora. Testament is able to shift out at the 3/16 pole and come with that run, a determined run, to get up by a neck. And Dat Dares Gold, yeah, I've got her lined at 7-2, and you might think, well, you got to be nuts. I'm looking at this race, this kind of starter. This is not the strongest other. These are proven sprinters. I
agree with you.
Sprinters. So, maybe, and I think of the outfit. Maybe because it's Valora. I don't know. She does a good job. They work hard. The horses look good. And this horse is moving up. Every race is getting better and better. Well, I'll take the shot. Give me 4-1. I'm going to the window.
Well, absolutely. Since coming off that layoff from May to July, Dat Dares Gold's done nothing wrong. Zero. Nothing wrong. She shows 3 wins over those last 5 races, a couple thirds in that last 2 races in that star company. And you're absolutely right. This is certainly not the toughest other than on the planet here today. So Dat Dares Gold fits right in, running a lifetime best in her last start. I have the 2 Too Hot Betty on top for Dale Capuano, and this one comes back at the level. And Too Hot Betty, simply shouldn't have gotten beat in her last race by Grace Isabella. Forrest Boyce rode Grace Isabella, just outrode Trevor McCarthy in that race. Put Too Hot Betty up on the fence, kept him in there just long enough. If you remember the race, Forrest was able to open up a little bit, and it worked. They run the race again, different trip. Grace Isabella doesn't beat Too Hot Betty, and she's got some other races on the main track where she's run some good numbers and some good races. So I'm going to take Too Hot Betty with the rider change to Avery Wisman and Dale Capuano. Very, very good. And going back to Dat Dare's Gold, the red hot Alex Cintron rides today for Val Testerman there in today's first level allowance race.
That does concern me a little bit. Gomez getting along with his horse, has a couple of wins for that. There's gold. He gets the call, I guess, here with Claudio. And My Star Potential is a horse I really didn't know how to line her, didn't know what to make of her, but I'm not going to leave her out. I mean, comes back October to June, really didn't show much at all, was bet down, but that was against Zurali, kind of got away from her. They hold the level. They hold the level. So, I mean, she showed a little bit of talent in those couple races back in 18 as a 2-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah, and, those type of moves, sometimes it just comes down to business. Kevin Gomez rides a lot more horses for Claudio than Val, and you've got to take care. Sometimes a rider has to take not the fastest horse in the race to protect his business for races down the road. So that could simply be that. He very well might want to be on the 4. That Dare's Gold. That's race 74823 for Keith, 2574 for myself. Race 8, 2 lifetime for 5,000. Keith, you've got the 4 on top, Major Flirt, Linda Rice, and why not? Because this is one of my favorite moves when I was training a horse. Drop, add blinkers, and stretch. It's usually a winning combination.
It's like I say, double edge, triple edge, whatever you want to call it. She's going to try to take it here, and you see the blinkers on. She's over 30% with a positive ROI. And I've watched this horse run a couple times. He looks a little bit maybe lazy, just doesn't want to get into it. Well, against this field, I think he's going to be able to get into it a little more focused with the blinkers going on. Cryptocurrency will be out there with some speed. Maybe the outside horse will go as well. But Major Flirt, just an aggressive move here, the right move for the connections. Try to get the confidence back up for this one and see if this isn't the answer.
It's a great move, and it works often. Now, a lot of times these horses will run long the first time and run well and never run long well again. But the first time they attempt it, they do pretty well. I've singled. This is my single. I've got the 1 on top, Sassy King for Anthony Ferrier. Alex Cintron rides here today. Claim 2 back at Churchill Downs for 2 lifetime for 10,000. They tried to start her in last race, 2 for 25 in his last race here at Laurel Park, going a mile. That didn't work. Too tough, but I think this is a really, really juicy spot for a horse that's been running some good numbers and some good races down there in Kentucky and Indiana.
I liked this horse last time. I thought it was a confident move. You claim the gelding for 10, you come up, you bump them up a little bit in class, almost a double bump. That was an odd race, though, because 2 bombs ran 1-2. That was the snake horse going to the lead. Can't pass it up, I think, was another double-digit kind of a horse and a big exacta that day. The number still works.
Yes.
But, hey,
numbers still
James
work.
Wolf owns a lot of horses. You know what? I'm going to try to just go ahead and plunge and get it done.
Yeah, and Ferrier, quietly or unquietly, depending on when you see him, is having himself a good meet and a great year, winning 26% of the time. So getting Cintron for the first time here today, race 8, that pretty much covers it 4-3 for yourself, 110 for me. Race 9. A wide open maiden 10. I went 5 deep in this race. Keith, you have the 9 on top. This also kicks off Quinella time. It's Quinella time, fellas, in race 10. We throw up that board if you don't mind. Quinella time, race 9, excuse me. It is Quinella, the big Q, the queen of the Quinellas. And, it's interesting. I've read up on the Quinellas. It just basically saves you $2. at the end of the day.
Give me that automatic box, right?
Gives you that automatic box, and why not
10%
load to head?
takeout.
Can't beat that.
Yep.
So get on the Quinella, and you can bet a few of them in this race here, no doubt about that. You have the 9 on top, Win Then Grin. We have a video from Win Then Grin's last start, I believe, on the turf, or start before.
We've got the race on the dirt. We're going to see this horse, and I think she's crying out for a little extra ground on the dirt. We've got this race from October the 4th. A little sluggish early, under some pressure around the turn, and we're going to pick this horse up, and the white blinkers coming for home. You see, forced in at the 3/16 pole was Win Then Grin. Now making a move right here. Thanks, guys. Outside horse just pushing him in right on the heels of that other rival there at the top of the stretch, but really doesn't phase Win Then Grin. Going to pick it up. Finished pretty willingly. I got the short comment. Going well late was the comment in the long footnote in your Equibase chart. So pay attention to those. Go back, read the longer extended comments if you can. You see that horse shifted out late. Debut was okay. I think this horse is going to relish the mile.
I agree with you. In fact, on my notes here, I have first route on the main track could make all the difference for Win Then Grin. Plus the drop to the 10,000 certainly isn't going to hurt, because a couple decent, and certainly first time out of the box. Her first time out of the box going short on the main track was a pretty decent effort. Dale Capuano very good with his 2-year-olds. I've got the 10 Sunrise Memories on top for Jerry O'Dwyer, taking on the main track for the first time by English Channel. But we've seen these English channels. They'll run over anything at the end of the day. They're kind of like the cat horse. Why am I? His name's skipping my. That sire. Kitten's Joy, yeah. So those horses will run over the same thing. Same thing. Anything also second off a little bit of a layoff. Takes on the main track for the first time in a sharp work sense, and Ashley Casternsey rides.
Yeah, I'm going to use the 10, no doubt. Jeremy O'Dwyer with a 2-year-old, so you got to pay closer attention. Yeah, bottom side, you couldn't find a hole immediately, but Second Dam did break the maiden going long on the dirt, and I think topped out eventually about a 73 or 74 buyer routing on the main track. So that works for me. 9 or 10, 10, 9 in here. I'll throw the 6 as well. Wicked Race. Got away poorly. We'll use the speed to its advantage this afternoon. 9, 10, 6, 4 when it's all said and done. Remember, the 12 does draw in here as the 7 Congress Hall is scratched.
That's absolutely important. The 12 Risen Change draws in, and horse looks pretty live. I don't have him in my picks, but I threw him on my Rainbow Pick 6, so don't forget the 12 does ride. Also, don't forget tomorrow, special Veterans Day Racing special card tomorrow. First race post 12:25 here tomorrow. Live racing. There'll be some simulcast action from around the country also here tomorrow. Hope you join us tomorrow. Hope you join us today. Lots of football action, lots of racing action. Going to be plenty of opportunities here today.
No, you got lots of opportunities. Go get yourself a cold beer and a little bit of lunch and head up to the sports book and enjoy it.
I can't.
It's what it's. Maybe we can slide up in between races.
There you go.
We'll sprint down.
No, we don't want to do that.
Take a 2-minute break.
Take a 2-minute, but we'll get the second game in, I can guarantee you. Good luck today. If you come out to the races, please come out and see us. The best place to watch the racing and football in Maryland. Come on out.
Good luck.